Hello everyone, it's Marie here from Pebbly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Welcome. Today I'm going to be using a stamp set by Stampin' Up, and it's a celebration set called By The Bay, and I'm just showing you their pictures of the beautiful like landscape type of images. So today's card base is a Whisper White card base, half an A6 and half an A4, which makes it an A6 card base, and then I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock there. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be stamping that main image of the house by the bay, by the ocean, and I just removed my clear grip there because I put it there by accident, but I'm just going to ink that up now in some Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I'm going to stamp it on that Whisper White piece of cardstock. Today's video is sped up quite a bit because when I recorded it, it was over 40 minutes long, and a lot of the time it was repetition, so I thought it would be better if I just did a voiceover and just show you exactly how I did it, but fast, mistakes and all. I had pre-done a mask, and I'm going to be colouring it with various Stampin' Up colours, being Night of Navy, Gorgeous Grape, Pumpkin Pie, which is what I'm using now, and some rich razzleberry. And I'm just going to start using my small makeup brush and blend some colours in the background. Now you'll see later on I stuffed up the mask, and I'll be forever correcting this card. Now you'll see me just putting in some Gorgeous Grape. I'm using Blackberry Bliss as well as a colour there, and I'm trying to create a night scene. Now when I did this card, this is the vision I had, but to me, I'm not sure if it turned out great or not, but I'm showing you everything, mistakes and all, regardless of how badly I've done it, and you may not like this card, and that's okay. You know, as card makers, we tend to make mistakes, and we also have visions in our head that don't turn out. So I'm just going to show you everything, warts and all, and yeah, I hope you may like it, or it may inspire you to actually improve on what I've done, and you can use different colors, lighter, etc. I decided to do a nighttime scene for this particular stamp set because every sample I've seen out there on Pinterest and on Google, etc., are all daytime themed or sunrise. So I thought it'll be different to do something nighttime based, and I'm using like quite a bit of orange, etc., because I wanted it to reflect the light from the house that comes at night. And yeah, so as you can see with the mask, I've just pulled it up and I made a huge mistake with the mask being too high, so I'm now trying to blend that out using my brush again, and to try and cover up that mistake that I made by having the mask too high up, and I stuffed it up basically. So as I said, I'm showing you warts and all. Things can be fixed, but sometimes they don't work out the way you like it. So this is just a big example of it, but let me know your thoughts, good or bad. I'm a big girl, I can take criticism as long as it's not nasty. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just blending in some more pumpkin pie, and I just stamped my craft sheets so that I can mix up the colors without contaminating my ink pad. So I'm just trying to cover that all up there. So I did a sky, and now I'm doing the ocean, and I want the ocean to have a little bit of orange in it too, so that it can look like there's reflections from the house at night time. So that was the idea. Whether I executed that well or not, I'll leave that for you to decide. I didn't mind the card, but I don't think it was one of my best cards. And I just wanted to show you this warts and all, so that you know too that when you're having a bad card making day, we all do it, no matter how experienced we are. So I'm just blending in some more Night of Navy, and I'm just wiping off my craft sheet there, and that's why I love this craft sheet. You can make a big mess on there and it's all good. So I'm just cleaning my brush. Okay, so now I'm bringing out my Faber-Castell watercolor pencils. I've shown them in countless of videos before. I really love these pencils, and so I'm just coloring the roof in a muted dark, kind of a pinkish red, because if I was to do this scene in the daytime, it would have been a much brighter red, but in this case I had to do it in a more muted red so it can reflect it being at night time. So I'm using oranges now for the windows and the reflection, so that's where you're seeing me scribbling on some orange on the retaining walls and on the ocean, near the ocean as well. And then I'm going to be using like a dark green again, so it can reflect a nighttime scene. And I'm using an even darker shade of green, and I'm just colouring over the top there, and I'm using my blender pen to blend all of these colours out. And yeah, I'm trying to make it as dark as possible without it looking black, because then you just lose the colours. So I'm adding a brown now, and then I'm adding an even darker brown to add some accents through that, and then I'm going to use my blender pen and blend that all out. In this case, I'm not going crazy with shading, I'm just laying on some colours. There are bits that are lighter and darker, so for me that shading is great. So at the moment there I'm using like a brown grey, again a very muted colour to use for a nighttime scene, because in the daytime that would have been a lighter brown. So I'm using that same red colour to do the window frames and the doors and the roof next door to that tiny little, there's like a little house next to the big house, so I'm using that same colours on that little house too, and the same browny grey colour. There's also a house in the distance, it's quite small, but I'm using like a darkish blue with the same colour, browny grey colour as the big house, and I'm just colouring that in. And now I'm just doing the retaining wall in a lighter brown, and I'm going to blend that out in a second, just to lay down a foundation of colour. And then I'm going to do darker shades of brown throughout, blend those out, and repeat the same again in an even darker shade, so you can see reflections of light and colour throughout, so it doesn't look just a stark dark colour. Like you can see colour, pops of colour here and there. That's what I envisioned would happen, but yeah, sometimes you have visions in your head and they don't exactly turn out the way you want to, but then again you can end up with something completely different. So now I'm trying to lighten up where the ocean would be, so I'm using a lighter like colour blue, and I'm using my blender pen to kind of, you know, mix those colours together. But that's the beauty of watercolour pencils, is that you can go over darker shades with a lighter pencil and it will show through. So that's why I love watercolour pencils. You can use them dry and wet techniques, as long as you seal it afterwards, because it can react with water. So yeah, so right now I'm just using a brown there to kind of bring to light that there's rocks near the edge of the retaining wall there. And I like the way that turned out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a mask, cover the house and the ocean, and then you'll see me just pop that in there. And I've just got wet hand, and I'm just sprinkling some water on the sky part, and I'm using a tea towel, a kitchen towel, to wipe that, and then I've got that stupid blender pen coming down. So as you can see there, the colour has come off with the sprinkles of water, and it looks like stars. So now I've got the third largest stitch shape rectangle die, and I'm going to cut that out with my Big Shot. And once that's cut out, it looks a lot better. It looks more together. It's not exactly how I envisaged it, but I hope I've inspired you so that you can do something similar and probably better than I can. But my videos are not always going to be perfect. I might even lose subscribers over this, like I have in the past, if I'm not perfect. But that's okay if that happens. That's fine. But I just wanted to show you, no matter how experienced you are, you can make mistakes. And that's okay. You know, you just go with the flow, and sometimes it can turn out nice anyway. So don't beat yourself up over it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So now I'm going to just use the thank you sentiment from that stamp set, which is a really cool stamp set, and it's free, so that's really cool. So now I'm just going to stamp the thank you, and I'm going to do it again to make it darker. I blurred it just slightly, but I didn't care. It looked fine. You can still make out that it's a thank you. So now I'm just going to put that panel on that card using some dimensionals. So I'm just going to put dimensionals all over the back of that panel. Thank you all for watching. All of these products that you can see, minus the watercolor pencils and the blender brushes, can be purchased through my online store at peplyrose.stampinup.net. Don't hesitate to leave a comment, ask me a question. I'm more than happy to answer them. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I really do appreciate you watching. Thank you all so much. And let me know your thoughts, subscribe, give me the thumbs up, I appreciate it. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.